Hey everyone, welcome to WIFF, What If, the channel that explores the moments that changed history forever. Today, what if Japan never bombed Pearl Harbor? No surprise attack on December 7th, 1941. Would America have stayed out of World War II? Would the world look completely different today? Stick around, this one will blow your mind. Let's start with what actually happened. Japan was fighting a brutal war in China and desperately needed oil and resources. The United States had cut off their oil supply. So on that quiet Sunday morning, 353 Japanese planes struck the U.S. Pacific Fleet at Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. 2,403 Americans died. The next day, America declared war on Japan. 3 days later, Germany and Italy declared war on the United States. Suddenly, America was fighting on two fronts, Europe and the Pacific. The sleeping giant woke up and changed the course of the entire war with its factories, soldiers, and eventually the atomic bomb. But what if Japan chose a different path? What if they attacked the European colonies in Southeast Asia, the Philippines, Malaya, Dutch East Indies, but deliberately skipped Pearl Harbor? No direct strike on American soil. That's our divergence point. In this timeline, Japan still grabs the oil they need from the Dutch East Indies. They still invade the Philippines. But because they never touch Hawaii, the American public stays divided. Isolationists in Congress scream, "This is Europe's war." Roosevelt wants to help Britain and the Soviet Union. But he can't get full war powers. America keeps sending lend-lease supplies, guns, food, trucks. But no American troops flood into Europe or the Pacific right away. The Pacific Fleet stays safe in California. No "Remember Pearl Harbor" battle cry, no massive rush to enlist. Now the war in Europe drags on longer. The Soviet Union has to fight Nazi Germany almost alone for an extra year or two. Millions more soldiers die on the Eastern Front. D-Day. It might happen in 1946 instead of 1944, or maybe never in the same way. Without America fully in the war, Germany might even develop its own atomic bomb first. Or the war could end with the Soviets marching all the way to Paris. Europe ends up much more communist after 1945. No NATO as we know it. Back in the Pacific, Japan builds a huge empire. They control most of East and Southeast Asia. No island-hopping campaign by the US Marines. No Battle of Midway. No Iwo Jima. Japanese soldiers stay in China and Indonesia for years longer. The Manhattan Project, the race to build the atomic bomb, moves much slower without the urgent fear of Japan. Maybe the bomb is never finished. Or maybe it's used on Germany instead. Hiroshima and Nagasaki. They stay beautiful cities untouched by nuclear fire. Fast forward to 1946 or 1947. The US finally enters the war, maybe after Japan sinks a few American ships near the Philippines. But by then Japan has dug in deep. The Pacific War becomes a long, bloody stalemate instead of a quick American victory. The Japanese Empire survives into the 1950s, maybe even keeps Korea and parts of China. No American occupation of Japan. No made-in-Japan economic miracle the way we know it. No anime boom, no Sony PlayStation. Crazy to think about. Cold War looks totally different. Instead of two superpowers, USA and USSR, we might have three. The Soviet Union, a surviving Japanese empire, and a richer but less militarized United States that stayed out of the fighting longer. Space race, the internet, jet travel, all delayed. But maybe we avoid the Vietnam War. Maybe Korea never splits in half. The world has fewer American military bases, but maybe more tension in Asia for decades. Here's the wildest part. Without Pearl Harbor shocking America awake, the United States might have stayed more isolationist for the entire 20th century. Smaller military, different culture. Maybe we never land on the moon in 1969, or we do it later with international help. On the positive side, no atomic bombs dropped in anger. Millions of Japanese and American lives saved in the short term. No Hiroshima survivors carrying trauma for generations. Technology develops more peacefully. But the cost? The Holocaust might last longer without full American pressure. More cities in Europe destroyed. The Soviet Union even more powerful and brutal after the war. History is never simple. Every choice has winners and losers. So in 2026 of this alternate timeline, what does the world look like? Maybe Tokyo is still the capital of a huge Asian federation. Maybe English isn't the global language. Maybe your smartphone was invented in Kyoto instead of California. One single decision, one admiral saying don't attack Pearl Harbor, could have created a completely different 21st century. No superpower America the way we know it. No United Nations exactly as it is. Everything connected. That's the power of what if. One moment ripples forward and changes millions of lives. It makes you realize the future isn't set in stone. The choices we make today, right now, are shaping tomorrow. If you loved this episode, smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new WIFF. In the comments, what if should we explore next? What if the internet never existed? Or what if dinosaurs never went extinct? Tell me. Thanks for watching, future thinkers. Remember, history is full of turning points, but you get to write the next chapter. Stay curious, stay kind, and I'll see you in the next timeline. This has been WIFF. What if? Peace out. Please like and subscribe the channel not to miss our mind-blowing WIFFs.